Hey everyone, so I just recorded a video that's gonna play right after this little snippet because as I was putting things away, I realized that I've been meaning to express my gratitude towards you guys for quite some time now, and when I'm in the moment of recording, everything else in the world kind of slips my mind, so I needed to take the time while I'm here to tell you guys I am so grateful for your donations I've been receiving for the past couple months, and also just your kind words towards me and towards other people who've been leaving comments. These things don't go unnoticed by me. I truly am so grateful for this, the community that it seems to come back. You guys are just so sweet, and I just really appreciate you guys. And you know, I actually had this vision of what I wanted to do, and I've only told one other person. I haven't told anyone in my real life. I told one person on here privately my vision, and I think I'm gonna start working on it more seriously this week. You know, I'm gonna do that and get it really started. I've been contributing my own personal assets towards this, but I think I'm really gonna go for it this time, you know, and like ramp things up. So what that means, I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means for you guys. Maybe nothing, but anyway, just want to say thank you guys so much. All right, enjoy the video. Hey everyone, all right, I pulled these cards just now. I literally have not had, I just pulled them and then started recording because the information's like, I feel like I need to slow down, and I literally haven't said anything and I haven't thought anything. It's just kind of this bombardment of information. It feels like a continuation of the videos that I've been posting, and this is me just speculating on why it's happening this way. I don't feel like I'm necessarily weeding people out where it's like you would have wanted to watch those other videos. Like this would all kind of they would all be resonating, or they would all be of interest to you, but that's just it's kind of a mixture of that, because I feel like there's a broad number of people who this is gonna resonate with, but there's also like little pockets of information for people in the other videos that is supposed to resonate with. And so if you're vibing with the vibes, this is definitely your video. I'm seeing let me back up and say this in a more like real life way instead of, you know, whatever, like hippy dippy stuff. Okay, so I talked about like infinite possibilities that we have in our life, as far as like what we can dictate through free will. And so there's like that certain range of your frequency where you would choose a certain thing, right? So layman's terms, a little example is like, if you're feeling good, you're not going to want to go jump off a bridge, trigger warning or whatever, you know, like you're not going to want to go do that because that's not in alignment with how you're feeling internally, right? If you're feeling very, like, here's an example, what happened to me, and I still regret it to this day. I don't even know why, because it's like so minor, but it's just all these little thoughts in my head. There was this guy with a super powerful telescope, and he's, you know, he's excited, you know, like people come check it out. And I was shy. I don't know why. And I had it all built up in my head where I'm like, I'm gonna go check it out. I'm literally so interested. I have so many different questions. And then I was too shy to go over there and look. And it was out of seemingly nowhere. I don't know if it was because I was sleepy. And when I'm sleepy, then like, you know, I start getting a little more like nervous energy. And so I don't know if it was that. I was not checking for boogers. I was checking because I have a little bit of lipstick. So anyway, yeah, it's and I'm actually being drawn to that example because there's a distinction here that I need to make. So two distinctions, multiple distinctions actually, but that's more in line with my dad. Okay, so wow, okay. Here's the thing is, I'm gonna back up even more and let's talk about my dad really quick, okay? So side note, let's talk about my dad. And I didn't tell him, you know, I told him about my dreams and all of this stuff, right? And like my visions and my dreams. And so I didn't tell him. I don't know why I didn't tell him. I don't know why. I have no idea why. And anyway. Because there's a blinding energy, and this is going to resonate with you, okay? There's a blinding energy. It's as if, for example, if people are always talking to you like, you don't realize, you know, this about you, and your life has been set up for those past experiences, right? That kind of built the character that you have, where you may be dealing with low self-esteem, or you may be dealing with shyness, like chronic shyness or something. You know, it's like there are issues that you have in your life that you could trace back to some experience in your past of why you are the way you are, why you're it doesn't feel like it kind of feels like some points in time it's a struggle still, but you've done a really good job of processing it and working on it. But the reason, like, there's a reason why you're blinded to this part of you, to the capacity that you have been and may currently still be. It feels like you're walking through the doors of that direct change of seeing what other people see. It's like you are the light in the world, in the world of which everywhere you exist, you are that light, and other people couldn't see and perceive the light. You know, they didn't appreciate the light in you, and then in turn you weren't truly appreciating it yourself because you couldn't see that about yourself. And then you started stepping into loving yourself more and getting into situations where people could see the light and appreciate the light, but you still couldn't see that. So you're walking through the doors of realizing, putting a mirror and saying, I am the light. I had no idea. And all this time I'm looking for the light that people are looking at and saying I'm the light, but I know it's somewhere behind me. And then you shine a mirror on yourself and realize you are in fact the light. And that's a side note. I don't know where is that from? I'm trying to, what were we talking about? My dad. Okay, sorry, can't remember. Let's just like backtrack again. So my dad, oh, I didn't tell him that he would have been taken out. This is what I saw. He would have been taken out if he decided to be how he's always been. If he decided, I'm not going to make any changes in my life, all of these chronic issues that kept coming up, like these like fatal issues, I'm telling you, these doctors don't say that stuff lightly. Like, you're knocking on death's door, or you were knocking on death's door. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Like, everyone just can't freaking believe it. Like, people who have experienced death on a daily basis are saying these things to him. You know, it's like, even when you arrived here, we weren't sure if you're going to make it. You had a 50-50 chance. If you didn't come here, you would be dead. Like, all of these things. And so he made the choice, is what I feel. And I feel like up until the time of his destined point of death, or, you know, leaving this world, he has that choice, and he will be taken out if he doesn't follow it, because this is part of his mission, right? So those are his options at this point in his life. That's what he created for himself prior to incarnating here. And so, you know, spiritually, everyone that's working with him and his spiritual self are all making sure that he's committed to that. He has no other really doesn't have any other option when you are following like that stream, like this is the path of your destiny in this life. This is the path of your destiny. You cannot very rare, okay? And I'm talking like very, very, it's very rare. And you have to be like top tier, meaning bottom tier demonic, to deviate. But it's a very small deviation, very small, because structurally, like spiritually, structurally, you can't deviate that much. It has to take lifetimes to do that, but you could deviate just an eensy beensy bit. Eensy beensy being like a lot in like real world terms, it feels, but spiritually not really. But it takes like basically like some of these like organizations, I won't say organization, I won't distinct it like that, but like these like, you know, like Illuminati or something, you know, like stuff like that, but like deeper than Illuminati. Like you have to use these people who are committed, right? And like have that insight of kind of like everything, and like the world's like the world's history, and like you have to be part of that, right? Most people cannot do it because it's the divine realm, the spiritual realm, you know, it's too strong. And basically, like demonically speaking, these darker energies are just using you if you are doing that kind of stuff. So it's like you think that you're doing, you know, whatever, but in truth you're just fuel for them. You're just their fodder. And it's like, it's kind of like this. I also want to point out, like, people who are like into that, you know, and they're like, oh well, I want to. It's like you actually don't, but you don't know that. You actually don't. And yeah, that's your choice, right? But most of those people get taken out or become imprisoned, which cuts you from, you know, it just like what I was talking about with my dad, where he would be taken out because he's not. So you're basically, you see where like that's how it balances itself out. So, and I saw, okay, I don't know why I want to tell you this, but like I feel like I should tell you this for some reason. I saw 93, and I kept seeing it and kept seeing it and kept seeing it and kept seeing it. Like talking about my dad, I kept seeing the number 93, and I was like, are you telling me the like year he dies, like his age? Like I still don't know what it means. But then I told my friend this, because I was like, because this was like in the middle of it and things were like all crazy, and I was like, I'm just gonna tell you what's going on, because like this is what I saw. So I don't know if we should really be worrying, but like, you know, this is, I don't know. And it was 3:45 when I told him this. I didn't know the time, you know, time's just going crazy during this moment, you know, with everything. And he was like, look up at the clock, and behind me, you know, we have just the regular, you know, hands, and it was pointing at 9 and 3. So it was 93 again. I was just like, weird. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's like, you know, if I'm supposed to be looking up the angel number. It feels, honestly, it feels a little bit of everything. Like, meaning, yeah, you know, maybe there's some symbolism behind 93. And then they showed me 11 because it's 9, 10, 11, it's 12, but they showed me 11. So I don't know where that mess up. It's not my math. I mean, it is my math, but maybe 11, 12, 13 is what they're showing me. 11, 12, 13. But then it actually really does feel like 93. Like the year, like his age, 93 or something. I'm not going to say or something because it feels like his age, 93. I don't know. I didn't tell him this. I don't know. Literally have no idea why. Oh, that's why I talked about the light, is because basically, like, the comparison that I see here, like the similarities, is because sometimes you're not supposed to know these things about you that other people can see in you. And when it's relevant for you to know, then you should feel like, I was gonna say faithful, but like you should feel like, okay, well, now's the time for me to know. Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying it right, but you probably get it. Okay, so then I need to make some clear distinctions in these things for you. Why it feels like to reassure you about this, because it's something you already know, but to hear it again, or like to hear it from another person, to hear it out of thin air, basically, is impactful somehow. It's supposed to mean something for you somehow. So, following the trajectory of our, you know, divine, our pre-birth promises right here, right? And how we have like the free will to kind of choose kind of how we want to go on the path. Like, it can go like straight. I mean, it can, I guess, but not really. You know, it's gonna go like that, dun 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 dun, you know, up and down like that. That's what I'm trying to show you. And so okay, here's so with my dad, talking about my dad again, remember I talked about how this point in time I feel so like hand on the Bible, like I will die on this hill of my belief in what I'm about to tell you, like so strongly. It's just, I just know it to be true. I just do. Which is, what happened was destined to happen to him, irregardless of anything he did leading up to this point in time in his life. Whether he married my mom and had me, whether he, you know, ate a cheeseburger, you know, and I don't know, I was gonna make up some story. I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter what job he took. It doesn't matter where he moved in life. It doesn't matter what he's done in life. It would have led him to this point in time, irregardless, because it was destined to happen. He was not, you know, and I want to make this point clear, because we've talked about suicide and stuff like that, and like people, you know, and other people committing acts against others, and taking away their right to live. And it doesn't feel like that was an option for him, in the sense that that wasn't, it would be very unlikely considering his point in life, like his what he's destined, this destiny. Now, people who have had that happen and has disrupted their will to live, whether they did it themselves or someone did it upon them, it feels as if there is that point of possibility in their, you know, you can never compare your life with another person and your journey with another person. It's not, it's irrelevant to do that, because we're all so different, but so alike, but so different. And so that would have been whether it was like something that they were supposed to choose between, and then they chose, you know, that, or if even the circumstances, but they would have existed in that realm of possibility, not the choice to do so. Because I don't feel, when it comes to suicide, I do not feel, I've never felt that that was ever something like, that's, again, that's a crime, a spiritual crime against yourself. That's what I see. And then doing that upon another is it's a spiritual crime. I don't believe in violence of any kind, but especially violence against yourself nor another. We're too intelligent for that. We're too intelligent. There are so many other different ways. And they're showing me the example. I'm going to go on a side tangent. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but they're showing me this example of ants and how, like, the impatience people have with ants. When they move into, like, let's say a flower bed, and then people like drown them, or people put soap on them, or people put pesticides or whatever to move them, or they'll, there's a lot of like farmers, and I don't know if it's just farmers, but they'll like, it's like so mean, but they'll take colonies, they'll dig them up and put them on another colony, and they'll fight to the death. So then they'll do things like that, right? When patience, what I've seen, I don't know if I just got lucky, but anytime I've ever seen ants, I'll give them a 24-hour notice. I mean, they can have longer if they need, but it only takes 24 hours. If you disrupt their home, if I need to use it, if you disrupt their home, then they'll move somewhere else. And that's also an indication of the soil, right? Like, they usually like really dry spots, so it kind of tells you more about the area and everything of where you're wanting to use that. Granted, I know some people don't have the means to be patient with these ants, but this is just the example I'm seeing of, like, you could find a different way, right? Or you could try and understand the ants, or you could try and move them. Like, it's not necessary to do something based off of just, like, you can use your brain and try and figure something out, right? Instead of resorting to this kind of stuff. These like, it's like, I was gonna say finite, but you know, it's like once you make that choice, you can't renege on that. It's it. So needed to mention that. And then also about the distinction between, like, you know, people who like manifest and create their realities, and it's basically like you operate from what you feel you deserve, right? And so really with manifestation, it's like, in my context, is it's saying like, okay, well, I want, what do people want? I don't know. I want $1 million. And so, for my example is my phones. For my example, let me respond to this actually, because this is important. Because there's a message here for you. Again, it's something about you receiving messages, or it's like, this is the year that it's easier for you prior to like the past 3 years, right? It's like very easy for you in comparison, or it's getting easier for you, or this is the year you receive a lot of messages. This is the year that you find out you're okay. This is the year you had a vision, okay? This is what I'm seeing for, this is gonna resonate with a lot of you, not all of you. There is a vision. It's not a dream. You didn't have a dream, or like it's like I have an idea. It's not an idea. It's literally you saw a vision. You saw a vision and you're in the middle of it, where you could question yourself, much like what I was talking about with my dad, where I'm like, I don't know, I still have doubts sometimes. It's like, and it's like, what's next? Well, it's like, you had this vision, you're in the center of it. Look at the bigger picture is what I'm hearing. Look at the bigger picture. This is the time for you to really just step back and look at the bigger picture. You saw the original vision. You don't see how it's going to be executed. And even if you did, it really don't matter. You saw the vision. You have to go from point A to point B. There's an in-between. So you're in the in-between. You're going to get to point B. So the middle part, what you're experiencing, is just you moving towards that. So with like, okay, let's say I want to manifest $1 million, and then I don't feel like I deserve it. Therefore, I don't take these risks that would actually lead me to that. Like, I saw the telescope guy, and he had $1 million in his pocket. He said, the next person that comes up here, I'm going to give him $1 million. And I inherently didn't feel, confident enough to do all these blah, 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 blah. So I didn't do it. And now I didn't get my $1 million. It's not until I feel that energy of what I want to embody that I start propelling myself into experiences that could lead me to that end result. Like that. And that's more of your free will choices, not destiny. Because if I was destined to have $1 million, it doesn't matter if I go check out the telescope. It doesn't matter if I, whatever, sit on my booty all day in my house, because if it's destiny, I will feel that inner calling to like go check my mail, or I'll feel, I don't know, a sinkhole might happen. I don't want to say that because I don't like sinkholes, but it'll happen like in a field where nothing's there, not even a hair, and I'll get scared and I'll leave. I'm not scared of sinkholes, I just don't want to be around it. Okay, so I said everything I was supposed to say with all of that. Probably not the way I wanted it to, but it really don't matter. So there's something about something you're gonna hear, whether it kind of feels like it's like either through me or similar to me, like something you're gonna hear. It's not me. Sorry, it's not me. It might be me. I don't think it's me. It would be like if it was me, you're watching me, and then you look at the ads there's like an ad down below or something where it's like, there's a festival nearby, check it out, and then you go check it out. Because that's what it feels is like after me. It's like after you see this, there's like some event that you're gonna go to, or like some music venue, or like because it feels like I could feel it. I don't know, it feels like music. I don't know how to, this one just feels like music. Or you're gonna be somewhere where they're playing music. It's like something leads you somewhere. And you're either gonna like, there's something there. There's something in alignment there. Whether you run into someone, whether like someone that you know, someone from your past, or it's someone new that leads you to something else, or it's like you hear something that confirms something that you've been feeling, and it also resonates with what I'm saying. So it's like just this constant bombardment of repetition, like signs and signs and signs. It was 29:06 is when I was recording, because they told me to look at the time. 29:11. But there's something about a baby that I talked about before that I'm seeing again, where maybe you had a vision of a baby, or you had a vision of having children, or you have something, multiple message. You need to trust what this vision was. You need to trust yourself on that. You need to trust on those distinctions that I told you about, and how that operates in your life. And you need to, and I'm seeing when I talked about a bridge, there is a significance to a bridge here. It's not a symbolic bridge. It literally, I see a bridge and it feels very illuminating. There's an illuminating feeling about a bridge. So whether you're driving over a bridge, whether you're going to be walking over a bridge, whether you're going to be looking at a picture of a bridge, there is a bridge that is supposed to be some sort of mental portal. It's not like an actual portal. It's like mentally, it's going to have kind of like a little earmark in your current life of like, this is an experience that's shifting. So it's like, once I look at this bridge or I cross over this bridge, something shifts, or it's like my mood shifts, and it's going to, it's some good, I don't know, some good stuff's gonna happen after you cross this bridge. Literal bridge, or looking at the bridge and how that made you feel. It's like this like calm, but happy, meditative. It's like, you know, when you're really like in a good mood, so you're not like super hyper, but you're just like feeling good. That's what this bridge is going to do. There's something about gardens too. So maybe you're going to go to a gardens. You're going to go to, maybe there's a bridge at like, you know, like a park, you know, because the way I'm seeing it is like, on one side it feels more industrial, on the other side it feels more natural. So it's like a bridge that goes into a garden or something like that, and then the industrial side's like the city, you know, like Central Park is like, it's enmeshed. Okay, let me look at these cards. Oh, about the baby. Start focusing on your health. Start focusing on your mental health and your physical health. If you're a female, if you're a male, to prepare yourself. If you feel that that keeps resonating with you about having a baby, get yourself ready to have a baby. They're making another distinction here of like spiritual health, and also like, you know how you pass on like, why can't I think right now? Like, I mean, you know, like breeding, you know, when you breed you're breeding people, like you do, you know, uh I can't think, you know, like when you breed animals and you take like the best qualities and you breed them, and like when you're breeding people and you pass on those attributes to the people, and so that kind of dictates also your personality traits. But there's also a spiritual personality trait. That's what I'm trying to, they're showing me there's also a spiritual traits that are passed down, a spiritual lineage. And they're also saying to focus also on that. They're showing me like this, they're showing me like a strand, like a hair strand, right? You know how like when you zoom into a hair strand and how when it's like split and everything, you can see all the little pieces. So they're saying to smooth it out, smooth those strands out of your spiritual. It's a this is another distinction. It's like two spiritual DNA. So it's like the spiritual in the sense of your spiritual now, take care of your spiritual health now to smooth out those strands, because that biologically gets passed down through generations because of what you're internalizing, experiencing, and it restructures within your system. It's like your biological system processes what you're spiritually experiencing. So to smooth it out, smooth it out, smooth it out, and also be in that mind state of like Zen, bringing that in. And also that other part of it, which is beyond your control, of your spiritual. They're showing me, this is strange, they're showing me like how people, like your spiritual, like you might be previously from, or like you could previously be from another planet, or you could be majority from another planet, like a lot of your incarnations from another planet, or like even people energy surrounding you, right? Like the people, like your guides, and you know, like when I do reading, I can see like all the people and stuff. It's like they could be from other places that aren't here, that you would know, and spiritually, like it would resonate with you, right? And how I saw a dolphin. I don't know why. That must be like CES. What is it? Crustaceans, but it's not crustacean. That's not the word I'm seeing. It's not a cesarean, or it's like, but there's some thing there, alien wise, star system wise. I was just asking him, like, why do I keep, like, each time I'm picking up, I know Sirius was one I picked up, and then I don't remember what the other one was, but it's like, why am I getting each one? But then they seem very close, like they seem similar, or like not close, they feel close, okay? Because when I say that, it's like throwing me, it's like, do not say anything else, like they feel close. So it's like, you guys, those who this resonate with, even if it's from different places, like you guys are very close to each other. It's like family, right? Like your soul family, like that's just your family. very, 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 very spiritually close. And they're comparing it to how, like you could be from Europe and then I could be from America, but that doesn't mean we can't be close, right? We're from two different parts of the country, but we can still be close, you know? And like we could still be related. I think the biggest message here that I'm getting from these cards is that you can trust your vision. You can trust your inner guidance. You can trust yourself. That you are receiving the message clearly and accurately. And that there's someone that, like, I think this kind of goes, this is a different separate message because it's branching off. It's like if you would have lost a child, then this is confirmation, like your child is watched over, like your child is like loved. So I'm hearing is like your child is very much loved on the other side. Your child is like here. Your child is with you at all times. It's this feeling of like not letting go, like your child's not letting go of you, like guidance, like your guidance, or in your family, like they are there, like you can trust those signs. You can trust, like, if things are kind of happening strange, like, you know, something falls, you know, in the pantry, or you hear like some, like, you can trust that. You're not crazy for that. Because there's this feeling that they know that you want that or you need that reassurance. So that's why they're doing that. That's why they're here. It's not about them, like, you know, yearning and stuff like that. You know, they're very much at peace and watched over and safe and happy and content. But it's for you. But that's one message. The other message is that there's children or a child. There's children. I want to say it's not a child. There's children that are like, they're showing me like a line of children, or like it's not, or I mean, they're showing me a line of kids where it's like coming into earth. Whether you're supposed to birth them or you're supposed to be like helping children, whether this is directly helping them or if you're in some sort of, you know, volunteer or work or whatever kind of program that, you know, indirectly helps them, you know, whether you're helping parents or you're just helping, you know, you're just making people happy, right? You're giving some overworked mom a really good day because you're so kind to her, you know, cashier, and she's like, man, that was the best experience I had, you know, they were so sweet. And then in turn, she goes home and she feels like this weight off of her that she's not carrying, you know, and then it like helps her be more efficient and think better or whatever, you know. It's like somehow that's part of your path is heavily involved with the healing and the helping of children. And I am seeing this image of being blocked. From like, how do I explain? Okay, like this is what I'm saying is like, okay, so this is a window. Pretend my window's open, right? And I'm just like sitting here, and I like it's another vision that is I don't know if it's associated with your past vision or this. I mean, if it is, I don't know if you're gonna know that. I don't know if you would even care, honestly, because it would be like, I don't know if you would care, because it would be like doing involving something in your life that's like kind of like, okay, example would be like the whole thing with my dad. And so if that was in line with some other vision I had in my past, it's like I don't care, because that's all its own thing in my mind or in my opinion. But then because I'm not thinking about whatever thing in the past, you know, I'm thinking about that. And so if I really thought about it, I could make that connection, but I don't feel like it. Like even now, like just using that as an example, like I don't care to think about comparing all that stuff. It's like whatever. And so it would be like that. But I'm seeing the window, like let's say the window's being open. This could literally happen to you, and maybe that's why I'm seeing it this way, where it's like you have your doors open, the windows open, whatever, but then you're blocked from everything because you have a vision. It's like you're suddenly, you know, existing in the 5D or whatever dimension. And it's like you literally get taken away, like an out of body experience, but you're in your body. You're not like floating anywhere else. It just kind of like your reality transforms and you see something totally different. So that's what I mean by block, because you can't see out the window. You can't see past it because it's happening right here. Like that intense of a vision, you know, like that. That's So Raven. Remember that show? And she would be like, yeah, and then have like that. It's like that. She'd have a vision, and it's just right there. And that's what I'm saying is gonna happen, or it hasn't happened. If it happened, then this is the next one that's going to be connected, but you're not really going to care, I don't feel. But just so you know, I guess, because even it would literally be like that. I'd be like, oh, I watched that video and she said it would be connected. It probably is. Don't care. But you would, like, in retrospect, that's what I'm saying though, because this is what I keep wanting to say, is because in retrospect, after everything kind of unfolds, like we type bigger picture idea, it's like once you're finally through it and you can look at the bigger picture because it's all already happened, then you would care and be like, I can't believe I didn't care. But it would be really cool. Like you would be excited, be like, that is that's so cool, that's so amazing that I didn't care. So you're gonna have some intense type of vision like that again, is what I'm saying. Again, because you've already had something like that I was originally talking about, and that's it. They just want to tell you that because they're kind of comparing it. Not saying anything horrible is going to happen to you. Not that what happened to him is horrible, because he's fine. But like, you know, using that example with my dad of like that point of distinction of like the point on here where you're ding, like lined exactly on where you're supposed to be right in that moment. There's no adjustment in your free will because it doesn't matter what you did, you would have led up to that point. And it feels good. It kind of feels like, well, you know, like for him experiencing that, it's like, well, he wouldn't have, it's this feeling of like, I don't know if I'm prepared to handle this kind of thing. But it's the same thing as like probably giving birth too. Like you can, or like unexpectedly pregnant. It's like, I don't know if I'm ready for this, or like stuff like that, you know. It's this feeling of like, it's not a, it doesn't feel like a problem, but it's like the experience, like what's going to happen, it feels bigger than what you might be able to handle. I don't feel like you're scared. You don't feel confident. It feels, you feel ready. It's the feeling that I feel when I'm like, I know this is true. Hand on the Bible, I will die on this hill. This is it. And what I've told you about my experiences where it's like when it's like literally the most clear divine guidance ever, it feels like that. It feels like nothing. It feels like ultimate peace and answer, like the truth. Like you don't you don't question it because you cannot question it. You cannot. And it even brings me back to when I was a baby and I recorded that video and I was crying about what happened when I was a baby and I saw blah, 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 blah. It's like that. It's going to be experienced like that, where it's like, I know. And the reason I know is because I just do. Because I do. I want to pull. It says, you and your loved ones are safe. It's the baby too. It's a baby that's also safe. Where do you hold yourself back? That's something that I need to point out, is when all these little distinctions that I talked about, where are you holding yourself back, where you feel you need to hold yourself accountable for your decisions and your options, explore your options. Where do you feel like you need to hold yourself accountable for your life, that you are capable of doing so? Where do you feel that you can perceive yourself as an innocent person? Innocence in the sense of, I'm just vibing the vibes. I'm me. I love me. I'm allowed to be imperfectly or perfectly me. And in that imperfection is perfection, because I can only exist as me. You know, there's no one else. Just as you are you, I am me. You know, I am allowed to go out and experience different things, look in a telescope, ask my questions. I don't got to be shy about that. You know, it's like just being happy with exactly who you are. My cat is, I think she's upset because I have layers of doors closed, and she's finally waking up and realizing, why did you do that to me? You're ready to soar. You might be ready to be sore if you need to, you know, start going on runs if you're too shy or something. I don't know. I don't know why I got like, maybe you're like shy to go to the gym. I don't know why shy is coming through and why I brought up me feeling shy, but it's like maybe you're shy to like go out and do something, like physically go out and do something, but or like, yeah. Because this is what I feel is like you're ready to, because when I look at this, it says explore your options. So it's this guy, right? And he's on a Pegasus, and I don't know if those are his wings. It's probably his wings. Is that a unicorn then? Do unicorns fly? This one does. Or he's just strong enough to carry this unicorn. And so he's changing direction, right? But what he's not realizing is when him changing the direction to turn, to run the other way, or to run through the field, he has all these options like we talked about, right? But he's vibing enough to not want to walk through or plow through these people's, you know, fields, this wheat field. He doesn't want to do that. That's messed up to do that. And so he's like, I need to explore my option. But then he doesn't realize it. He just kind of does it naturally because he lets go of this perfectionist mindset or this lack mindset, this feeling of, because the perfection coming through is saying that my work, or what I have to say, or what I feel, or how I want to experience life, like I'm not enough. There's something in there that's feeling like I could do better, I could do more, I could refine something more. But in that imperfection, in the unrefined, is so beautiful, so raw, so perfect, so necessary. That's where you have to be. That's what you have to do. That's how you have to experience it. That's how you have to project yourself out there, is to be that. Be you. In raw form. You don't have to be the polished form. Some people, like these little stones and stuff, I appreciate them. They're so cute. I have the ones that are little hearts, but I like the unpolished ones. I like the ones the geodes you could just crack open. But you don't have to crack them open. But it's like, you are gonna have to look at this as even like a national park. Like you need to look at yourself as a national park versus a botanical garden. They're both very beautiful. And you may aspire for the botanical garden, but there are so many people who appreciate and who find it necessary, and all the life, and there's equal beauty in both. And you can actually be both. You can have a little bit of both. You can exist as both. You can go back and forth as both. You are not frozen into one category. You can go back and forth as many times as you want. But now's the time for you to fly. Now's the time for you to say, you know what? I'm just gonna let it go, and I'm gonna see where it takes me. And I'm just gonna, and that innocence, looking at yourself as innocent in the sense of, like when you look at a baby and the baby's tumbling and trying to learn all these things, the baby, before it's imparted with all of these feelings of whatever kind of worldly structure it's a part of, or whatever people say, like, the baby has no concept of being enough. The baby just is. And so looking at yourself in imperfect form as a baby who is willing to stumble and fall and drool and cry in public, just cry and roll around and scream, like all of these things, and be okay with that. Like, don't put an opinion on that. Just be, and say, this is what it is. This is who I am, or this is what I believe. This is what I think. This is my work. This is my product. This is it. And I'm willing to refine it as I go, and maybe even take some of it out when I feel like it should be a little bit more, whatever, natural, or you get it. I don't have to keep going. I don't know why I just saw this. I saw a cheese fountain, or like a water fountain. It's not a water fountain. It's like a cheese fountain or a chocolate fountain. I don't know if you're going to like a buffet or a wedding or something. I don't know why I saw that, or if that's supposed to be symbolic for something, like opulence. Or like a cake. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe that's what you're that's what you're figuring out, is like how to make a good cheese fountain. Gouda. I doubt that melts, but Gouda. There's what other I love, anyway. That's what I see. Let's move on. That's it. That's what I got. That's what you needed to know. Amen. Although that was not supposed to be a joke. That was like a serious, but anyway, bye.